Prince and Princess of Wales, they are three children, all greeting well-wishers. 7-year-old Prince Louis breaking protocol and snatching some chocolates given to his father.
Many people who follow the royal family already know Prince Louis as the youngest child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. But not everyone really pays attention to the quiet, almost adorable bond he shares with his older sister, Princess Charlotte. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. From recent appearances and quiet observations, that connection between them has started to stand out in a big way. Royal watchers keep pointing out how Louis seems completely drawn to Charlotte, almost like she's his guide in everything he does. It's not just normal sibling behavior. It feels deeper, more instinctive, like he naturally looks to her for cues on how to act. When they're together, everything about them feels easy and natural. Their energy just clicks without effort, like they understand each other without even needing to speak. But here's where it gets interesting. Louis doesn't just casually glance at Charlotte like most younger siblings would. He watches her closely, almost intensely. It's like he's studying her every move, trying to figure out how she reacts, how she carries herself, and then quietly adjusting his own behavior to match hers. And then there's Charlotte. Even at her young age, she carries herself with this calm, composed energy that really stands out. During public events, where pressure is high and all eyes are watching, she stays steady and controlled in a way that feels way beyond her years. Every small movement, every glance, every tiny adjustment feels intentional, like she understands exactly what's expected of her. She's not loud about it, she's not trying to take attention, but somehow her presence brings order. People have even started describing her as having this quiet leadership role among the siblings. Not bossy, not controlling, just naturally in control of herself and the moment around her. And this is exactly where Louis changes. Because when he's near her, his usual playful, energetic personality suddenly shifts. He becomes more focused, more aware, almost like he's tuning himself to her energy. And the wild part? It doesn't look forced at all. There's no one telling him what to do, no visible guidance. It just happens. It feels like one of those unspoken sibling connections where the younger one learns simply by watching. And that dynamic became impossible to ignore during the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla at Westminster Abbey. In the middle of all that tradition, pressure, and global attention, Louis was seen looking up at Charlotte again and again. Not just quick glances either. He held those looks, like he was checking her reactions or grounding himself through her presence. It happened multiple times, and every moment told the same story. Even their outfits added to the moment. Louis in his sharp navy look, matching the tone of the event like a mini version of his father. And Charlotte in that elegant ivory outfit with delicate floral details representing the nations of the UK. Everything looked perfectly planned, but it was their behavior that people couldn't stop talking about. Later, when the family stepped out onto the balcony of Buckingham Palace, the energy completely changed. The mood was lighter, more relaxed, and Louis instantly switched back to his playful self. Smiling, reacting to the crowd, full of energy like everyone expects from him. But even then, he stayed close to Charlotte, still glancing at her, still checking her reactions, like that connection never really switches off. It doesn't matter if the setting is formal or relaxed. That bond stays consistent. What makes all of this stand out so much is how natural it feels. There are no rules, no instructions, just small, repeated habits and quiet understanding building something real between them. Charlotte brings that calm, steady energy, while Louis brings the curiosity, the movement, the fun. And together, it creates this perfect balance that feels real and relatable despite their very public lives. And then, you get moments that completely flip the tone in the best way. During a relaxed family gathering, Louis once again stole attention, but this time in the most cheeky way possible. Charlotte was sitting there, excited and focused, carefully opening a thoughtful gift. Everyone around her was locked in on her reaction, enjoying the sweet moment as she unwrapped it piece by piece. But Louis? He wasn't about to let that moment belong to her alone. Right in the middle of it, with perfect timing, he jumped in with his signature cheeky energy and made a funny, innocent request, basically asking where his gift was too. It came out so naturally, so quick, like he genuinely couldn't understand why only Charlotte was getting something special. That moment may have been small, but it was packed with personality and quiet comedy. People who saw it couldn't help but smile because it felt so real. And the way Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, reacted made it even better. They didn't shut it down or make it awkward. Instead, they responded with warm, amused expressions, like they've seen this exact behavior 100 times before. It showed something people don't always expect from royal life, that behind all the rules and cameras, there's still a normal, relaxed family dynamic. And what really made it hit wasn't just what Prince Louis said, it was how confidently he said it. No hesitation, no second guessing, he just jumped right in like, "Yeah, I want one too." That bold, carefree energy is exactly why so many people are drawn to him. Louis has built this reputation as the funniest, most unpredictable young royal, and he keeps proving it again and again. Whether he's pulling faces, reacting in unexpected ways, or just doing his own thing, he brings this natural spark that cuts through all the formality. Nothing about his behavior feels staged or forced. It's pure, honest, childlike energy, the kind that doesn't overthink anything. And that's what makes it so entertaining to watch, because it reminds people that he's still just a kid figuring things out in real time. That one little moment with Princess Charlotte didn't just stay within that gathering either. It spread everywhere. Social media picked it up fast, and suddenly everyone was talking about it. People kept pointing out how relatable it was. Because honestly, what kid doesn't want a gift when they see someone else getting one? It hit that universal feeling instantly. And for a lot of people watching, it was a reminder that even with royal titles and global attention, these are still young children with the same reactions, emotions, and curiosity as anyone else. Meanwhile, Charlotte didn't even flinch. She stayed focused on her gift, completely unbothered by the interruption, which honestly says a lot about her personality too. Their bond comes through in moments like this, playful, affectionate, and totally natural. And when you add Prince George into the mix, you really start to see how tight that sibling group is. All three of them are growing up under constant public attention, which means even their smallest interactions turn into big talking points. But at the same time, those moments give people something rare, a glimpse into the human side of royal life. Not just ceremonies and formal appearances, but laughter, chaos, and everyday childhood energy. And Louis? He's clearly carving out his role as the one who keeps things fun. His spontaneous, high-energy reactions have become something people actually expect now. Every time he shows up, there's this anticipation, like, what is he going to do this time? But then, things take a slightly different turn during a much more formal setting. At Trooping the Color, a surprisingly cheeky little exchange between siblings quietly stole the spotlight again. This time, it was Charlotte stepping into that calm, composed role, and Louis doing exactly the opposite. The event itself was full of tradition, music, precision, and a huge military display celebrating the monarch's official birthday. As always, the royal family gathered in full form, arriving in carriages before appearing on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. And right there, among all that structure and discipline, Louis couldn't help himself. As the Scots Guards marched past to the sound of traditional music, he started swaying, then lightly dancing along to Highland Laddie, like he was in his own little world. Completely locked into the rhythm, completely unbothered by the setting. But Charlotte noticed instantly. According to lip reader Nicola Hickling, she stepped in quietly, trying to bring him back in line. You can almost picture it. Calm, focused, doing her best to keep things proper. She reportedly told him to stop and pay attention, clearly trying to match the tone of the event. And Louis? He wasn't having it. In a response that people found hilarious, he simply pushed back with a firm little "nope," short, cheeky, and straight to the point. That tiny exchange said everything about their dynamic. Charlotte trying to keep things in order, Louis fully committed to doing his own thing. And even after that, he kept going. Yawning, shifting around, playing with details on the balcony. While everyone else stayed composed, he brought that unpredictable, playful energy that instantly stood out. People loved it, because once again, it showed something real. Underneath all the tradition and pressure, these are still kids being kids. And that mix, Charlotte's calm leadership and Louis's free spirit, creates a dynamic that feels familiar to so many families watching. Earlier that day, the children had arrived together with their parents, sharing the carriage ride before stepping out for the big moment. Later, they joined the rest of the family on the balcony to watch the Royal Air Force fly past, another highlight that always draws attention. But this appearance carried even more weight than usual. It marked the first time the Wales children had been seen publicly in months since their last outing on Christmas Day at Sandringham. And their return came right after a deeply personal update about their mother, Catherine, Princess of Wales. Her recent cancer diagnosis had kept her away from royal duties as she focused on treatment, making her decision to attend this event feel emotional and significant for so many people watching. And in the middle of all that seriousness, it was these small, unscripted sibling moments that brought a sense of warmth back into the spotlight. Even with all the serious moments surrounding that day, that quick little exchange between Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis brought in a burst of warmth and humor that people couldn't ignore. It was small, yes, but it added personality to an otherwise formal setting, and that's exactly why it stuck with everyone. So who really is Prince Louis behind all those viral moments and cheeky reactions? Let's break it down. Prince Louis of Wales, full name Louis Arthur Charles, was born on April 23, 2018, and from day one, he stepped straight into one of the most watched families in the world. Being part of the British royal family means history, tradition, and constant attention, and Louis was right in the middle of it from the start. As the youngest child of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, he's growing up in a home that mixes strong family love with big expectations. And let's not forget, he's also the grandson of King Charles III and the late Diana, Princess of Wales, whose legacy still shapes how people see the royal family today. Right now, Louis sits fourth in line to the throne, behind his father and his two older siblings. That's a huge position, even if he's still just a kid figuring things out one playful moment at a time. When he was born, the UK was still under Queen Elizabeth II, and his arrival was marked with classic royal celebrations, gun salutes, ringing bells, the full tradition. Just days later, on April 27th, his name was officially revealed, and every part of it carried meaning tied to royal history. His christening on July 9, 2018, led by Justin Welby, took place at the historic Chapel Royal, a setting that's seen generations of royal milestones. It was private, symbolic, and deeply rooted in tradition. Growing up, Louis split his time between Kensington Palace and Anmer Hall in Norfolk, giving him a mix of city life and quiet countryside moments. But as he got older, royal life slowly started stepping in. His first Trooping the Color appearance came in 2019. And honestly, it didn't take long for people to notice his personality. School life followed too. He started at Wilcox Nursery School in 2021, then later joined Lambrook School after the family moved to Adelaide Cottage in Windsor. And yes, he goes there alongside Prince George and Charlotte, keeping that sibling bond strong even in everyday routines. Then came 2022. A year that changed everything. The Platinum Jubilee celebrated 70 years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, giving Louis another moment in the public eye. But later that same year, on September 8th, the Queen passed away, marking a historic shift. His grandfather became King Charles III, and Louis officially moved up to fourth in line. By May 6, 2023, he was attending the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla, another massive moment filled with tradition, history, and global attention. And yes, even there, his personality still found a way to shine through. His title also evolved with his father's new role. He went from Prince Louis of Cambridge to His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Wales, reflecting that shift in the royal structure. Now let's talk about Charlotte, because her role is just as important and honestly, just as fascinating. Princess Charlotte of Wales, full name Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, was born on May 2, 2015, and from the beginning, she's held a powerful position within the royal family. As the second child and only daughter of William and Catherine, she stands third in line to the throne, right behind her father and older brother. Her name carries deep meaning too, honoring King Charles III, Queen Elizabeth II, and Diana, Princess of Wales, all in one. She was christened on July 5, 2015 at St. Mary Magdalene Church, another iconic royal setting, again led by Justin Welby. And just like Louis, her early years were split between Norfolk and London before moving into more public life. Her education started at Wilcox Nursery School, then Thomas's Battersea, and now Lambrook School alongside her brothers. But here's where things shift. Charlotte isn't just another royal child. Thanks to the Perth Agreement, she made history by keeping her place in the line of succession even after Louis was born. That means she became the first British princess to stay ahead of a younger brother. A small detail, but a massive shift in royal tradition. That one change, it represents a modern monarchy slowly evolving. And Charlotte herself reflects that balance, tradition on one side, change on the other. She's already stepping into public life with confidence, appearing at events, international visits, and official moments with a calm presence that people constantly notice. At the same time, her parents work hard to give her a grounded upbringing, keeping things as normal as possible behind the scenes. But let's be real, the public is always watching. Every appearance, every photo, every outfit. People notice everything. And over time, Charlotte has quietly built a reputation as a young style icon. Her outfits sell out fast, influence trends, and even spark conversations about children's fashion globally. Some experts even estimate her long-term influence could reach billions in economic impact, which is wild when you really think about it. But it's not just about fashion. Back in 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Charlotte showed a completely different side. Just before turning 5, she joined her parents in helping deliver food packages to elderly residents. Simple actions but powerful in meaning. Photos shared by Catherine showed her dressed simply, focused, and genuinely involved. No spotlight chasing, no performance, just quiet kindness. Even her outfit reflected that mood. More toned down, more thoughtful, matching the seriousness of the time. As she's grown, her style has evolved too. From playful patterns to more classic polished looks. One standout moment came in 2021 when she wore a floral dress by Rachel Riley. And just like that, it sold out almost instantly. That's the kind of influence she's already building. And according to Rachel Riley herself, Charlotte has all the signs of becoming a fashion figure on the same level as her mother one day. So when you look at Charlotte now, you're not just seeing a young royal. You're seeing someone balancing history, responsibility, influence, and personality all at once, and doing it with a calm confidence that keeps setting her apart. When you step back and look at everything, the public moments, the quiet interactions, the playful exchanges, it all starts to paint a bigger picture of what's really happening inside this royal sibling dynamic. And honestly, it's way more real than people expect. Princess Charlotte isn't just seen as the composed one for no reason. That calm energy, that natural awareness, it shows up again and again in how she carries herself. Whether she's gently correcting Prince Louis or staying steady during big events, she moves like someone who already understands the weight of her role, even at such a young age. But then you've got Louis, and he completely flips the energy in the best way possible. He's unpredictable, expressive, and honestly a little fearless. He doesn't overthink the moment, he just reacts, and that's exactly what makes him stand out every single time. While everything around him is structured and formal, he brings that raw, unfiltered personality that people can't get enough of. And when you put the two of them together, that's where it gets interesting. Because it's not about one being better than the other, it's about balance. Charlotte brings control, awareness, and quiet leadership. Louis brings energy, curiosity, and that spark that breaks the tension. And somehow, without anyone forcing it, they meet right in the middle. You can literally see it happening in real time. Those quick glances, those small corrections, those cheeky responses, they all tell the same story. A younger brother watching, learning, but still holding on to his own personality. And an older sister guiding, not by force, but just by being herself. That kind of dynamic? It's something people instantly recognize. Because it's not just royal, it's family. And that's why these moments hit so hard with the public. It strips away the titles, the expectations, the centuries of tradition, and shows something simple. Kids being kids, siblings figuring each other out in real time. Even as they grow older, that foundation is already there. Louis will likely become more independent, more aware of when to switch things on and off. But that playful edge, it's not going anywhere. And Charlotte, that steady presence is only going to grow stronger as her role becomes more defined. Together, they represent something the monarchy doesn't always show openly. A natural, evolving family dynamic that people can actually relate to. And maybe that's the real reason people can't stop watching. Because behind the ceremonies, the titles, and the pressure, there's something genuine unfolding. And every now and then, it shows itself in the smallest, most unexpected moments.